Hey guys, SirVern back here, and today I am reviewing Pac-Man World Re-PAC. This was a remake of Pac-Man World. Not sure when it came out. I haven't done a lot of research on the game, but this is more 2.5D platformer. Has bosses you fight, along with classic Pac-Man that you can unlock. It even has levels that are similar to classic Pac-Man, but 2.5D take on it. Uh, Pretty neat. So if you like Pac-Man and you like platformers, this is be right up your alley. So I'm going to go through the same 5 categories I always do: graphics, performance, gameplay / story, replayability, then fun factor, average them up, and talk about the game a little bit. So Pac-Man Re-PAC. Let's start with graphics. I give graphics an 8 out of 10. Nothing spectacular. It's a remake or remaster of an older game. So, of course, it's not going to be, like, outstanding. But it looks like it runs in 4K. Decent cartoon graphics. Nothing wrong with them. So, 8 out of 10, respectable. Performance, 10 out of 10. Never had an issue with this game. It's like, it's not pushing the PS5, so it doesn't really have a whole lot of, graphics to push. But it runs at steady frame rate. Looks good. Never has issues. No glitches, no bugs. So, 10 out of 10. So this is the classic Pac-Man kind you can play, but you can also, I read in the trophies, like classic Pac-Man. So, and there's a trophy to get past a certain level, and I'll get to that here in a little bit, but this is a fun part of it. Every level has this aspect of it. But let's go to gameplay / story. So this is like a, a platformer, collectathon, but in this you'll get to you're trying to save your family members. The whole story, I'm not going to go into it, no spoilers, but the story isn't huge or a big aspect of the game. In fact, you could skip it and still enjoy it, but the whole reason you're looking for your family is kind of important. It has a beginning cutscene that you'll watch, and it's fun. It has a bad guy. It almost reminds me of like a Mario game mixed with Pac-Man, so it's enjoyable. The bosses are fun, challenging, especially the last boss. I had a lot of trouble, not a lot of trouble, but it took me like 3 or 4 times to beat him. I played the game on normal, but of course it has an easy mode, and trust me, it offered easy mode. I guess if you die like 4 or 5 times at a certain part, it'll offer easy mode, and they offered it to me a ton of times. So it's kind of difficult under normal. I don't know if kids could beat it under normal. So I would recommend, if you have kids, maybe play it under easy. Adults, normal. But yeah, adults can play this game. I'm nostalgic for Pac-Man, so I really liked this game. So gameplay was fun if you like Pac-Man and Mario. It's a mix, like I said, of the two. So story was there. Nothing spectacular, but enough to get you going and give you an idea you're doing, and it makes you care a little bit about what you're doing. So it's pretty neat. And you can talk to the characters you save, and they go to like the little home screen. You're on like an island, so it's pretty neat. So I gave it an 8, respectable. Replayability. Initially, I had this lower, but I started going through the trophies after I completed the game, and I was like, man, this is pretty cool. Although there's no difficulty-based trophies, you do have to 100% each level. Find all. You see the Pac-Man letters. You need to find all of those. You need to play every older Pac-Man style game in each one. Save all the characters. There's a number of trophies that would take you a minute to go through and play. I'm really tough on this category usually, so I gave it a 7, which is pretty high, honestly. Especially that you can play the old Pac-Man. It's like another game included. So that right there gives it a bump. So 7 out of 10. Respectable. Pretty good. Especially if you like Pac-Man. That's like I said again. But anyway, fun factor. I had a lot of fun with this game, but it can be frustrating at times. There are parts where you have to go up ramps and like I don't know if I'll show it in any footage here, but you have to like zoom past or up ramps, and I don't know if I wasn't doing it right, but there was a few parts that like I couldn't get up the right way, or sometimes I would overshoot. I don't know. That was kind of frustrating. And there will be difficulty spikes. Like sometimes it'll be a really easy world, and sometimes you're just like, dang, man, this is tough, So, and then, like I said, the final boss was tough, man. Compared to the other bosses, some of the bosses were pretty easy, but you'll have these difficulty spikes. They're just like, wow, man. If I was like 10 years old, I may give up, you know. And also there was one level where I got lost. Like I played it like 3 times, and finally I figured out what it wanted me to do. But this level, or this game, has a lot of different kind of levels. Right now I'm just kind of showing, you know, a few, but there's like a circus level. There's parts where you go underwater. The game is really, really fun. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's a 5-hour game or so. I think the game is only $30 brand new. So I highly recommend this game. If you just want to, you know, a platformer to play, it's single player only. So let me get to the notes. I wrote difficult, so I went over that. It can be difficult and frustrating at times. I love the bosses. I think that if this was just a platformer, like with no like boss stages, it'd be half the game it is now. The bosses make it. They're really fun. There's not a ton of them, but it's enough to be like, man, that's really cool. You'll see some screenshots come up in here, or come up in a second. It'll show you a few different stages. But anyway, it actually uses DualSense controls for the PS5. Not a ton, but it uses haptic feedback, the trigger, adaptive triggers, so that's really neat. I love when third-party games use that. It really adds to the experience, because you can throw little Pac-Man balls, beads, whatever they are. I saw this game, or that screen, a whole lot. Game over. See, this is the circus level I was talking about. Underwater portions, kind of, like I said, kind of reminds you of the older Mario games. And then, you know, Haunted House, you know, kind of, it's really cool. But anyway, let's see, 2 players would have been kind of cool, even if it was just local. I prefer local, so I would like to have seen like local 2 players, even if it just traded off with lives, you both playing it. That would have been cool. But whatever, I respect what they did. 1-player game. And I wrote pretty good trophies. Like I said, I wish there was. I always like to see difficulty-based trophies to give the more hardcore fan base more reason to platinum it. I will go back and play this game. I'm not going to uninstall it right away like I do with some games, because I would like to, you know, gather a few more trophies. But I've beat it. I'm content right now. But I would like to go back and play it here later on. But that's really all I have to say about this game. It's a good, solid $30 game. Definitely worth the price. I highly recommend it. So, over and out.